Hey there, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about social media stories. Now I know that a lot of social media platforms are doing different types of variations of stories. I know TikTok now has a stories feature, but for the sake of this video, let's deep dive into Instagram stories. Let's talk about how stories in general on Instagram came about. I think it really came with the emergence of Snapchat, where you can show bite-sized content in the form of like a span of 24 hours. And it's just a really great way to show a little bit more like behind the scenes information, a little more background information, and to really keep your audience engaged. It's a great way to supplement what you already have on your posts or your feed, and to maybe give a little bit more information, or to really get a little insider access as to what your business is like or how you create content and stuff like that. Now, I've already mentioned this probably on my Instagram and on my TikTok. Stories is not really my favorite way to film content. Not because I don't think it's like a really great way to connect, because I think it's probably the best way to connect with your audience. I just don't enjoy doing it. So I found a couple of tips and tricks on how to navigate using stories effectively, especially when you're out and about and you're traveling like I was this week. So let me walk you through a little bit of my process on how I use stories, what to do to really navigate some really fun ways to use stories effectively so that it can really supplement your content perfectly. So for the past 2 weeks, I've been in New York and Connecticut visiting family, and I really wanted to find really cool ways to connect with my audience on Instagram without necessarily having to be on my phone all the time. You know, like when you're traveling, you don't want to be like posting and then being on your phone and then like filming and then being on your phone again. Like I just want to be present and in the moment. I found a few ways to do so, and I did a couple of screen recordings while I was in New York for the past 2 days. So hopefully these screen recordings make sense, but I'm going to try and walk you through a little bit of the process, and my editor, Clara, will be able to hopefully make sense of it all, and you'll be able to see a visual representation of what I did. So fingers crossed. I was in New York for 2 days. I did a little bit of a walkthrough of what I did. I didn't really go like shot by shot of where we were, especially since we were at the Soho House where you can't film in there. So we did a lot of working there, but I really wanted to find cool ways to show where we were, what we were eating. I love the restaurants in New York. I mean, you can literally go to any corner and everything's interesting. Really easy way to find content. So basically in the morning, there was a video that I was putting out. So I did a little bit of an intro story where I was at the coffee shop, did a cute little quick snap of the coffee shop, a quick little edit, and posted it up there. And then I did a face-to-face talking sort of story. Sometimes it's really uncomfortable and really scary to start talking on your stories because it's like kind of like quick and live. So you don't really have much time to think about it, especially when you're out and about. But it's really just important to take a deep breath and just try and figure out what you want to convey very, very quickly. Because I find that when you have a lot of stories in a day where you can kind of see like the little lines like all line up, when I see someone that has a lot of lines, I tend to not want to watch it that much. But if they have something that's like flowing really nicely and something that's not too much, then I find that it's a lot more interesting. So try to find little bite-sized pieces every time that you want to talk. And so I was basically just saying, I have a new video out. I'm talking about that I was in New York, and I put the link to the video itself and just sent it off and posted it. So that was one thing that I wanted to do, and it was done. The rest of the day was really just trying to find different things that I found interesting and that I wanted to post about. Now, the key here is when you are traveling and when you're out and about, the best thing for you to do is just to use your camera and don't try to like make stories on the spot. Sometimes if ever I'm in a really, really great restaurant or I'm doing a really, really cool experience, I don't want to be like on my phone and having to like do stories real time, because you can't make many stories at the same time. So For example, when I was at the restaurant, I was at Casamono, and it is just a dreamy restaurant. It's a Michelin star restaurant, and I was really excited about all the food that was going on. So I basically just took out my phone and just took a couple of quick snaps of what we were eating, just a couple of quick videos that I can post later on Instagram. That way, you're really more in the moment, you're present, and you don't have to be on your phone so much to be like snapping and posting and snapping and posting. I also have a better idea, clearer mind on how I want to like present the post, and I can make it a little bit more condensed. So instead of doing, 5 stories on the same restaurant, I was able to do 1 story and kind of show what we were doing and have a couple of pictures in 1 story, which was, I think, like a really good way to show like what you're doing, where you're going, without having to drag it out so much. If you aren't going out and about so much, or if you feel like there's just days where you're not doing anything interesting, but you still want to go on your stories, I find a really great way to do this is to just repost what content that you're posting, asking some questions, doing some polls, and even like sharing other content that you really, really like. That way you don't really have to go in front of the camera, you don't really have to show what you're doing, but you're still connecting with your audience. And engagement stickers are key. Like every time that I put like engagement stickers, I see a lot more of an influx on my posts itself. So make sure that you're really taking a look at every single feature that there is in terms of stories. I love using GIFs. I love using, location tags. And that's a really good point too, as well, is, filming first and then posting later. In terms of security purposes, it's a really great way for you to like make sure that not everyone knows where you are at all times. So making sure that, you're saying that you were at a restaurant, but it was like hours ago and you're somewhere else. In terms of like security, I feel a lot better if I just am in the moment and then posting it later so that no one knows where you are at all times. It's kind of like good practice, I would say. Basically, the main point that I want to come across is that you don't have to put so much pressure on your stories. And I think that's how I really struggled with it at the beginning, is that I always had the mindset that it had to be like really beautiful and curated, just like my posts that I wanted. To really take the pressure off is to like kind of film little clips here and there in your day, and you can use those clips afterwards for reels. I think now Instagram has a really great way to, use a story highlight and to create a reels from a story highlight, which I think is a genius idea. You can actually do like little vlogs like I did for my New York vlog. I kind of just put together all of the outdoor clips that I had. I did a little cute little spring outdoor vlog. Like it's cute, like little ways to create content on your feed and also in your stories. So that was my walkthrough of how I navigate Instagram stories. And if ever you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Let me know if you want me to do something similar to this. I really had fun kind of like going through my process. For now, these were the best ways that I found to properly convey like just little things going on in my day. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!